College applications can be so stressful, but I promise you that by the end of this video, you have all the tools necessary to make it both easy and fast. If you haven't seen my last video, I have some great tips for filling out the common application and getting started with the common application process. Now let's get right into tip number one. Tip number one is to submit your common application early. The common application actually opens up on August 1st. I didn't actually submit my application until August 31st because I didn't know that you don't need your guidance counselor to submit any recommendations or fill out any forms in order for you to turn in the actual common application. You don't have to wait on them. You can submit it before they actually do it because they can always submit it afterwards after you already completed the form. Now, it's so important that you do it early because I'm going to the University of Florida and I am staying in a dorm on campus, and the way that it works is after you applied, then you can apply for a dorm. Based on the date that you applied for your dorm, that is the amount of options that are available to you. I did mine pretty early on August 31st, so I got some great selection with my dorm. Just make sure that you're doing it quick, fast, but also making sure you're taking the time to really read through all the questions and doing it early. Tip number two is to load up your extracurricular activities. Make sure that you're putting down everything that you did, a lot of volunteer work, any leadership positions that you're a part of. They want to see that you're very diverse, that you've done a lot of different things for the community, and that you're a very well-rounded person. They don't want to see any volunteering opportunities that were one time and you don't have any commitment to, so make sure that whatever you're putting down on your application is something that is really meaningful to you or something that you had a great time doing. Also make sure that you're taking lots of high-level courses like honors, AP, ACE, IB, and dual enrollment. It shows that you're willing to put in the work and put in the effort and that you're going to succeed in their college. And along with that, make sure you're taking the maximum amount of courses that your school offers. You don't want to only be taking 4 or 3 courses when your school can take 7 at a time, because it shows that you're not willing to put in the work and you can't really multitask and do a bunch of different things. So you want to make sure that you're appearing versatile to the college and anybody that's going to be looking at your application. Another tip that I have for you guys is to take the SAT and the ACT multiple times. Now, if you've only taken the SAT before, I highly recommend you take the ACT. For me, I normally ended up around like a 1270 to 1280 on the SAT, but then when I took the ACT, I got a 28, and then I took it again a couple months after and I got another score of 28. But what a bunch of colleges do, and most public universities across the nation, they will super score your SAT and ACT tests. They take your highest scores in each of the categories and combines them together for a super score. With my ACT, I got a 28 on the first one and I got a 28 on the second one. If you get a higher score, then you will generally get a higher acceptance rate. Now, if you're going to be taking the SAT or the ACT writing, make sure that you are a strong writer. If you are not a strong writer, I highly recommend you do not take it. You don't really need it. I didn't need it, and I applied to University of Florida, Florida State University, basically all the public Florida universities. They don't require it, so I recommend you do not do it if you're not a strong writer. If you are a strong writer, it is good to do because it shows that you can really write well and you're kind of getting ahead of the game and you're putting in more effort than your peers. Lastly, you want to make sure that you're spending a lot of time on your essay. Your essay is kind of that shining moment and shows who you are, what you've done, and what you plan to do in the future. You want to start collecting research ideas during the summer or even before that, before your senior year. Make sure that you're getting all the information, you're asking around to different friends, family members, and taking into account all of your interests, all of your values, and everything that you've learned over the past years. You can start by looking at some of the past prompts from previous years. They normally stay the same from year to year. The one that I did was the same as the year before. So if you want to get some good ideas for some research essay questions, then you can go into the Common Application website and see all the different prompts that have been used in previous years. I highly recommend you spend as much time as possible on this essay. you get a bunch of different people involved to help you write it and then also to help you revise it. For my essay, I used my mom and dad, I used my grandma, and then I also sent it to 2 friends to revise it, so that way I'm getting a bunch of different perspectives. Make sure to leave a like if you learned something today, and also leave a comment with any questions that you have or any ideas for future videos, and then also subscribe so you can get all of the latest information from my channel. My name is Dawson. Later.